Welcome to Discussing Dad Life, also known as DDL. This is Null, I'm Void, where we talk about various topics. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like our content.
Just grooving out in your own music in your own head.
Yeah, man, I'm swinging my own rhythm.
You got like a old phonograph.
Did you have no
playing?
idea? Like, I can't not. It's hard, okay?
Your brain don't shut off?
No.
You don't have the nothing box?
No.
Interesting.
I have the everything box.
Because you know the theory, right? That men have a nothing box?
Yeah,
And that's why
yeah.
women hate them.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't. Right? Because
I know where you're going
right,
with it.
because I enjoy going fishing.
I would love to go fishing.
It takes like no mental focus at all. And you literally just you're in your nothing box. You're
Play
just
video games.
in peace and quiet, out around. No one's bothering you. No one's doing anything.
Yeah.
Every now and again, you got to reel in and take off a fish, but
If you catch one.
if you catch one,
Yeah.
and if you don't, you're still enjoying your day.
Yeah, I would love to go fishing.
Why don't you? I don't have time.
Yeah.
I haven't been fishing in like
Yeah.
2 years.
I still gotta
so
finish
I'll shut up.
doing a bunch of shit. I'm too busy to be lazy.
Yeah,
I try though. At night, I try to just like sit on the couch and just like watch a movie or something with the family or something.
Yeah.
But that's the only time I really get with them because we're small house, lots to do. You know what I mean? Homework, work. Yeah, it's
Yeah. No, I get it, man.
But
So yeah,
all right, so
I guess let's dive into this.
let's do it.
You started off because you were the one who wanted
Well, I was just.
to. I think it's a great idea, but
Well, okay, so I don't know if this is necessarily a topic or anything, but the conversation I was having with my son on the way over here was, like if and when you're ready to start dating and you do start dating, or, you know what I mean, you find somebody that you are attracted to and you guys start, going through the motions or whatever. I was like, don't accept anything less than what you deserve for the most part is what I was getting at. Like, know your worth, and don't tolerate unappreciativeness. What is the one word I'm thinking of? Somebody who just throws things away. What's the word? Like wasteful, I guess. Yeah, I was like, don't tolerate that stuff in a relationship. And like I said, know your worth. Just understand what your value is, because this world isn't getting any easier. You know what I mean? For men or women, to be honest. But I think in today's society, men have it a little worse. And I'm not trying to play the pity party, like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that, but just value your time, your energy, and don't let anybody come into your life and throw you off your game. You know what I mean?
And I would agree with you, though, that men do live a harder existence than women, right? Because if a woman is struggling, she is always capable of finding a man to step in and help her. But when a man is struggling, we're not going to step in and help another man out.
No, I mean,
Right.
if somebody was to come up to me and be like, "Hey, dude, I just need to talk," or something, I would definitely help that person.
In that regards. But I'm talking like, let's say you're down and out, like you're going to be homeless and stuff like that, and you're another man's not going to be like, "Hey, come on, you can move in with
Yeah,
me,"
you can move in, not necessarily.
But if a woman's down and out, I mean, we're biologically preconditioned to protect women. So,
to help them.
When we see a woman that is hurting, we're automatically going to want to help.
Yeah.
More, and
that's what I was trying to tell Damien. I was like, don't all like be that provider, that helper. You know what I mean? But
don't settle for. She's got to appreciate what you're going to do for her, right? So if you're dating someone or you're getting serious with someone, if she's unwilling to pick up where you're lacking, let's say you own a house, right? And it's a 3-bedroom house, and you have a hard time keeping up with all this stuff. If she comes over and she's like, hey, whatever, and you're taking a shower or heading off to the gym with the boys or something like that, and she decides, hey, I'm going to stay a little longer and I'm going to get his kitchen cleaned up or something like that.
Yeah, see,
that I don't think women understand how powerful that is
just
as an
the
attraction.
notion of it.
Yeah, right. It's not that we can't do it. It's the simple fact that you're seeing what our liabilities are and helping us reduce those liabilities.
Well, and not only that, but just I think the helping without being asked goes a long way.
Yeah.
And it's something I try to teach all my kids. Like, hey, if you see like I'm working or I'm busy doing something and you notice like, hey, the dogs need to get taken out, and
Yep.
you do it without me having to ask you, like, hats off to you. Thank
Yep.
you so much, because I didn't have to go out of what I like out of my way from what I was
Yep.
already trying to accomplish to go do this. You
Yep.
took the initiative and
did
it
Yep,
for
yep.
me.
In the same as on the flip side, like men like to help, right? So
Yes.
if we're seeing like, hey, you know, I'm struggling here, we'll step in and help as best we can.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's fair in return is, hey, he's not the world's greatest cook, and I like having dinner with him, so I'm going to make dinner every now and again, right?
Yeah,
Like-
I get it.
It is interesting, like we kind of talked about this before, is like, oh, I'm not your mom, I'm not going to cook for you, I'm not going to clean for you, right? It's just like, no. I can do all that stuff by myself.
Yes.
But just because I can do that by myself doesn't mean that I don't fully appreciate you stepping in and doing that for me.
Right.
And because you're doing that for me, I am making sure I'm doing other things for you.
Yeah. Like you were saying earlier, the complementation
Yeah.
of the relationship is just mind blowing, and
Yep.
I don't think a lot of women understand how much of an impact that has on
Yep.
a genuine male.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if that's worded right, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
I get what you're saying.
and it goes a long way, and it's just amazing how like women. Not all women, but the vast majority of what I've seen online or met in real life, it's like, dude, it doesn't seem like it's rocket science.
It's not. I mean, men are simple creatures.
Yeah, I admit that.
And men typically don't leave women,
Yeah.
right? Most divorces are initiated by the woman.
Like 80% or something, right?
Something like that, yeah. Right. So men typically don't leave relationships. They will suffer through a poor relationship, a sexless relationship, because they feel loyalty to that
Committed.
woman, right?
Yeah,
Women have no such drive to them, right? In that fashion, women will leave men if they think that they can find a better man.
yeah. If they can level up,
Yep. So it is very interesting. Like, men really do have to do a lot in order to A, attract a woman,
mm-hmm.
B, to keep a woman satisfied,
Mm-hmm.
and then C, sacrifice on his own time, resources, and sometimes his own mental health, just to make sure that she's taken care of for. And the funny thing is you never hear about any like men complaining about that. They don't.
No, a lot of men just internalize that shit.
Well, I don't think they even really internalize it per se. It's just we're
Built different.
built different, right? We are built to deal with the hardships reality has to offer us.
Yeah.
Right. So I recognize that we live in reality, and reality has certain things that come in place. That means I'm going to get battered and bruised and beaten, but that just makes my simple joys of coming home and
That much better.
having a steak ready for me to eat so much more better.
Right.
That appreciation that I have for you taking your time out of your day to make sure that I'm cared for, because I'm going to go out there and I'm going to make sure that I'm the one
Yeah.
dealing with all the chaos in the world, to make sure that you do not get emotional scars, you don't get physical scars, you
Yeah.
don't get hurt.
Yeah.
That is the most appreciative thing you could do. And it's not being subservient to me. That is showing
Appreciation.
that, that's showing that appreciation.
Yeah, yeah, that's very well put.
Was that a flawless victory?
That was a flawless victory. Go ahead, you can hit the button.
Yes. Right. But at the same time, men also, we got to teach our sons to grow up and actually be worthy of having that appreciation.
That's exactly
too,
what I
right?
was just getting at. That was one of the main reasons why I had that conversation. And it was just something that popped into my head. It wasn't like we had this big old long deep conversation.
Yep.
But it was something that I wanted to point out to him. And it's like, hey, and I do that from time to time with my son and my daughter. Like, hey, have you ever thought about it like this? And it's one of the greatest joys I have as a father, is trying to help them
Yep.
for the future. Like you said, we like to help. And I love when I get to have those little moments with my children, just like a different perspective than what they're used to, because they're young, they're in school. You know what I mean? They don't look at the world the way we do, but we have to get them prepared to look at the world like this.
Yeah. As they grow older, you introduce them to more and more
Yes.
of reality's facts. And as a father's job, you're designed to protect them from reality. But like you said, teach them for what's coming.
Yeah. And
right.
like I said, things aren't getting easier out there.
No. And I think appreciation is probably the biggest thing for a man or a woman, because even a man needs to be appreciative for the fortunes that are given to him, right?
Yeah, dude.
Because, think of luck. A lot of people are just like, oh, he got lucky. So I believe in luck, but I believe that your work allows you the chance to get luckier, if that makes any sense.
I get what you're saying.
So if good things happen to you, it's because you've put yourself in a positive mind frame, worked and developed skills, so that way when an opportunity happens, you might be lucky enough to actually achieve that.
I get what you're saying.
That success, if that makes any sense, right?
Yeah.
So one issue I have with my kids is they are a little bit spoiled.
I think all kids are spoiled nowadays.
Yeah. We live in a very commodity-driven marketplace right now, right?
Yeah.
So everything's like instant gratification, and some of it's my own fault for failing to instill some of these. I mean, I had to have a decent talk with my oldest yesterday about some stuff, and then I also had to set my daughter aside and basically correct her behavior. Just because you want something right then, it does not give you the right to talk and act like you're acting, right?
Yeah. I've had that talk before.
I do like that you're bringing this up and having those conversations. I think it's very important to do with your children periodically, but it's not something you can just hammer on all the time.
No,
right?
exactly.
Because you got to let them develop in their own world, right?
Yeah, in their social situations, in their environments.
And then as they're growing older, you hopefully have imparted enough knowledge where they're able to function, and then at some point they will come back to you and feel grateful for what you were able to impart on them.
And I hope so. You know what I mean? That's the goal.
Yeah. But yeah, one thing that fathers need to do is teach their sons how to actually provide and offer and to actually receive that appreciation, right?
And that's what I was getting at.
You need to be able to command the respect, but in order to command that respect, you need to be a respectable person.
Exactly.
Right. My philosophy on respect is probably the most important thing to me, right? Women respect you before they love you.
Yeah.
Right. So if you want to be respected by a woman to eventually have her fall in love with you, you need to treat her with an equivalent amount of respect back.
Yeah. Facts.
Which is, we kind of dived into this topic, whereas, dating multiple women, it's like, is that really respectful to her? Right. So, I mean, it's one of those really large conversations that I struggle with, which is the only real issue I have with the whole red pill movement, tying this back into our previous episode on red pill, blue pill.
Yeah.
Is just because the red pill movement does actually agree with multiple women.
Yeah.
And some of that,
I don't agree with that.
And I'm kind of in the mix about it, because if you find a woman that is okay with it, then obviously there's no issue. But if you find a woman that you don't, then it goes back to the respect. Like, you should respect her wishes as well.
Exactly.
So it's one of those like interesting thought processes for me.
Yeah, and I understand like the other side of it, the promiscuity of it, because like if you're single, like you have no commitments technically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like I said, if we're dating, if I say, all right, I'm your dude and you're my girl, then that's it. But it takes a minute to get there.
So this might be a controversial take, and apologize, but I don't think a man should tell a woman when they're in a relationship. I think it's the woman's job to figure that out.
I don't see how that's controversial. That's your opinion on it. You know what I mean?
Well, just because like everyone wants clearly defined examples, right? But so let's just say, you're dating multiple women. You have a rotation. Right.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Right. So, and you're trying to find out, and then, like one's going to fall to the bottom of the pile, one's going to rise up, but, it might shift and change and jockey around and whatnot. But at some point, one of them has to step forward and actually command that relationship. Right. So women grant access to sex, men grant access to relationships. Right.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to go with this is, women are going to allow you to sleep with them at some point. If you've done enough, you've checked enough of their boxes, they're going to allow you to sleep with them, right?
Yeah.
Now it becomes important for that woman to retain that man, in order for her to retain that man, she's going to have to start checking off boxes as well for that man in order to get him to commit to a relationship.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm going with that.
No, that makes sense. Like I said, and that was just something that popped into my head today. Well, that'd be important to talk about.
I think it is important to talk about because boundaries for both your sons and your daughters are super important. They need to figure out what their boundaries are.
Well, and they'll learn those as they get old, as they develop into the adult that they choose to be.
But as fathers, we do have an important role in helping them to distinguish what a boundary actually is.
Well, good father, a good father will teach their children these things. You know what I mean?
You know, like the boundary set from a man's point of view is completely different than the boundary set on the daughter's point of view.
Yes. They also need that mother's compassion too, and understanding, and you know what I mean.
It does take two,
a balance of both.
I stand by the statement. I don't think women can raise men to be men. I think fathers can only raise men to be men. Mm-hmm. And the reason I say that is because a good man, a good father, will impart wisdom onto his child in order to make sure that they grow up and are respectful and are adequate at provisioning for their potential family. Mm-hmm. I think women, when they're have a child and divorce or whatever, I think they're scorned, so they tend to view men in certain ways, which actually makes men weaker.
Fair enough, man. I could see that opinion.
And then so boys, like I said, I think it's very important to teach them respect, how to adequately apply or supply provisioning for a potential family. But then, like you said, having boundaries set on your potential mate, like, you need to know what you want, right? If she's coming in and she's going to come in and command you to do things, then you probably don't want to do that, right? The relationship is not going to work out. Anytime a woman is in a leadership role in the confines of a relationship, that relationship is headed for...
Oh, yeah, I know. I let that happen.
Was a little
right on cue.
Yeah. But at the same time, you do need to be firm yet soft, because you do have to care about what their feelings are.
It's complicated sometimes, you know what I mean?
It is. But you need to hold firm to your boundaries, right? Don't let her disrespect you, because you let her disrespect you, the relationship's over.
It's going to keep going, yeah.
You got to...
Well, and you also got to know what is disrespect for yourself, too. You know what I mean? Like, that's where those boundaries come in. Like, what are you going to say enough is enough?
And I think the appreciation point is really, honestly, where it actually stems from, because men don't really look for much from women other than sexual access and appreciation. That's it.
Dude, if I hate it when I feel unappreciated, because I turn into an asshole. Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, in my head, I'm like, what the man? I'm doing like everything I'm supposed to be doing.
I sacrifice X, Y, and Z for me to be able to do this for you, and you're not even going to thank me for it. I understand your feelings.
I get and
appreciation is huge, because appreciation is a sign of respect. And men crave respect. Yep. Men crave respect from, whether it be in the job, whether it be in the confines of a relationship. Men look for respect.
Yep.
I think I said this before on the show. If you're dating a woman and you open the car door for her and she doesn't thank you, end the relationship. Just get out.
I think you did say that.
Because that is one of the most simplest things to say thank you for. It's not chauvinistic. It's not being dominant, or it's not doing whatever. It is you going out of your way to show that woman that you care enough about her to help her.
And it's just a little chivalrous act. It's like, what's the harm?
Well, chivalry is part of the patriarchy now. It's bad.
Oh, yeah.
You can't be chivalrous anymore, even though women want chivalry.
I hold the door for my wife.
I make it a point. I try to let if we're out on a date and we're leaving a restaurant, I'll guide her out the door, right? Mm-hmm. I'll open the car door. Those are normal, simple things, just to show her that she means more to me, even just a little bit, that I'm willing to take the time to make sure she's okay.
I don't hold the car, or I don't open the car door, but we also have two different cars.
Well, fair.
You know what I mean? I'm driving one, she's driving the other. But I mean, I would do that. I whenever we do go out on the rare occasion, I hold the door for the whole family. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Yeah.
I try not, like, if we go out to a dinner or whatever.
You pull the chair.
If it's not if it's a chair, yeah. If it's a booth, then I'll make sure she's
On the
sat
inside.
right. And I always make sure that I'm facing the door, right?
Yep.
The tidbit, little trick that you men should know and that you should be passing on to your children.
You need to be
your
facing
sons.
the door.
You need to be facing the door. You need to be able to see threats before they become at you, right?
Yep.
We live in the real world, and it goes back to what I was saying before. I will live in the real world, and I will make sure you are protected, so you don't have emotional scars, physical scars, whatever. And that means I will put myself in a position to make sure I can see everything going on. So if something does happen, I can step in.
Yep. You know, it's funny because now that I like you said that, and I think about things in the past, like I might not have always done it, but I have done it a lot. Like just naturally, I want to see what's coming. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but it kind of is a biological thing, but it also needs to be taught, right? Because it can be overburdened because there are some men that take it too far where they are dominating, where they're controlling.
Yeah,
and then when
definitely.
And then they act out in a non-aggressive fashion, right? Men are aggressive creatures.
Comes with the territory.
It does. It comes with the territory. But we need to. Biologically speaking, we needed to be the aggressors, the more dominant. But with that also comes in emotional control. That's why I always say that toxic men are not men that are chivalrous. Toxic men are men that have no control on their emotions.
Fair enough. I can respect that.
My oldest son, I tell him this all the time because it drives me bonkers. He doesn't know when to stop. He gets too involved in his anger. He doesn't know how to break it. And unfortunately, I was the same way. I mean, I mean, as a teenager, I was angry, and I was and I constantly was in trouble because of my anger.
Did you have a dad around?
I did.
Oh,
but I could not. It took me until I was like 22 to actually understand where my anger was coming from and get that under control. And a truly toxic man is someone that cannot internalize, look at himself, and apply control to his emotions.
Yeah. Address the situation and develop a plan of action to fix it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bad things happen. It is all about how you react to it.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's life. It's like 99% of what happens to you, or I mean, 1% of what happens to you, 99% of how you react to it. That's kind of the golden rule.
Yeah.
So, if a woman cheats on you, women cheat. Women, I would argue, women cheat more than men cheat. I know
it's
women.
actually been proven.
Yeah, it's been proven, but it's still argued that men are the cheaters. Yeah. I mean, you can't win to lose on that one.
Fuck no. I mean, everybody has or has been cheated. You know what I mean? It's just something that's going to go rounds and rounds.
And so rather than getting lost in the fact that a reality happened, it bit you in the ass, and making dumb decisions based on that, you need to step back and be like, all right, you know what? That's outside my control. What's inside my control is
I'm here now.
Peace.
What am I going to do? Yep.
So, men need to teach their sons how to be respectful to others, offer help to others, be in control of their emotions, and then make sure that they put boundaries in line.
Yep. Boundaries, man.
And one of those big boundaries I think you started off the show with, appreciation.
Yeah. Just like I said, something that clicked into my head, and then thought we should talk about it.
I do think it's interesting that women don't understand men. I know they like to think it, but men are like I said,
when they complicate shit.
Men are such simple creatures, though. I mean, seriously, if you want to keep a man happy, and this is for all the women out there, if you really want to keep your man happy and keep him supporting you and doing whatever, all you got to do is feed him and have sex with him, and then shut up. I mean, that's basically it. You don't argue with him. You don't nag him. You tell him what's going on in your world, so that way he'll
listen.
He's going to
give him a minute.
But I mean, literally, that's all you got to do. You don't create an argument with him. You don't nag at him. You make sure he's fed. You make sure that he's sexually satisfied. He is going to do whatever you need him to do. I mean, that's the golden ticket. And then women don't understand that. Like, we get it. You got problems going on,
and we will address them.
You tell us what you talk to us. we're going to formulate how to fix that for you.
Yeah.
Even if you don't want us to fix it, that's the other thing.
Yeah. Like, we're problem solvers.
So sometimes solving that problem is just to shut up and listen to her.
Yeah. We're guilty. Yeah, we're bad at that shit.
It's like no. We're creatures of action.
My wife has figured it out that she has to literally tell me that was a rhetorical question because I'll start like trying to figure.
Yeah,
that's funny.
It's
you say that shit
because we're men. We're gonna dive in and try fixing that problem.
I can't help it, man.
But it is nice when they're venting their problems. Like, hey, I don't need you to do anything. I just need you to listen to me.
When that happens, I just sit there.
It's just like I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna let you get it out. But if you're coming at me and you don't tell me that, I'm thinking in my head like, okay, I gotta go ahead and fix X, Y, and Z for you.
Yep. All right.
So it's interesting.
Nice. Let me tell you.
But yeah, so a good conversation, decent conversation, and something we should probably continue talking about, and definitely you guys should be bringing up with your kids, making sure that they understand their worth, their value, and making sure that they're showing appreciation when appreciation is due.
Yeah, that goes both ways.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, peace. Hope you enjoyed the content. Please leave us a comment on anything you want to hear us discuss, something you disagree with. Please give us a like, share, and subscribe. Till then, peace.